Hello and welcome to F1 Livery Histories, the channel where we take a look back at the different paint jobs, racing trims and sponsor decals adopted by respective Formula 1 teams throughout the eras. In this episode we'll be taking a look back at a small-time Italian entrant which competed under two different names and was based in two separate locations during an overall 13-year stay in the sport. A team which tirelessly battled against the odds, along the way earning a passionate fan base for its tenacity and grim persistence. This is the story of both the Osella and Fondmetal Formula 1 teams. Named after its founder, Enzo Osella, the Osella team took up residency in the small northwestern Italian municipality of Vero Lengo and was founded in 1971 when Enzo Osella purchased the Abarth sports car racing department and began operations under the name Osella Corse. Osella would make its first foray into the world of single-seaters in 1975 when it entered Formula 2, racing with its chassis, the FA2. The team would gain momentum as the decade progressed, and following a successful Formula 2 campaign in 1979, the team's owner made the decision to move up to Formula 1 in 1980. With the young Italian team now poised to become part of the Formula 1 landscape, so begins our retrospective on the resolute Osella Formula 1 team. Osella Squadra Corse arrived in 1980 as a single-car entrant, with Eddie Cheever, the same driver that had brought the team 3 wins in the previous season's Formula 2 championship, piloting the team's sole Formula 1 chassis, the FA1, a design which would continue to be developed and raced by the team over the course of the next 11 seasons. The car came fitted with Cosworth power and Goodyear rubber, with Agip supplying fuel, and was painted in the navy blue and white colour scheme of aftershave brand Denim. Denim appeared chiefly on the car's rear wing and the navy-coloured lower portion of the car, whilst Italian cigarette brand MS was seen occupying the monocoque and front wings. The livery was topped off with gold diagonal trim. The following season, Osella expanded to a 2-car operation, introducing both the FA1B and FA1C cars, which came with a reworked denim livery that now incorporated red trimming. Osella's list of sponsors would grow in 1981, with Italian companies such as consumables brand Appellate and chemicals company Allegrini appearing alongside the team's new tyre supplier Michelin. Osella's tyre supplier would again change in 1982, this time to Pirelli, as the team hit the track with another livery update that saw a gradient effect emanate from the front of the car, blend together with the colours of navy blue and white. Incoming sponsors included freight distributors SIAMA, appearing alongside electronics brand Pioneer. At the 1982 San Marino Grand Prix, Jean-Pierre Jarier would finish in 4th place, earning Osella its first points in Formula 1. Sadly, 1982 also proved to be a tragic season for Osella, when its driver Riccardo Paletti was killed in a crash at the Canadian Grand Prix. In 1983, Osella sought out a new major sponsor, with the car coming painted in the royal blue of Italian cosmetics company Kalamata. The team would progress into the early part of the season with the Michelin-shod FA1D, which came with a front wing painted in silver, along with a silver stripe that hugged the car's monocoque, as well as yellow driver's numbers. The team would then embark on an engine deal with Alfa Romeo, which saw the debut of the V12-powered FA1E at Imola. Along with this came additional sponsors, in the form of Beta Tools, Carvico, Victor, and Ceramica Vaccari. In 1984, the team returned to racing as a single-car operation, with Piercarlo Ghinzani employed as the team's driver. Ghinzani would pilot the V8 turbocharged Pirelli-shod FA1F to 5th position at the Dallas Grand Prix and finish in the top 10 on a further 3 occasions. The team would eventually field a second car as the year wore on, which was driven by Joe Gartner to another 5th place finish at the Italian Grand Prix. However, Gartner's result was not added to the team's constructors' tally, due to Osella having registered only 1 car for constructors' points prior to the start of the season. The biggest change to the livery came with the addition of Italian beer and tobacco brand Milde Sorte, which added its company shade of red to the top of the car. 1984 would also see the team for the first time running with sponsorship from Italian wheel manufacturers Fondmetal. Osella would continue with the FA1F into 1985, before producing the updated FA1G chassis. The team's agreement with Milde Sorte would prove to be a short-term affair, and in its absence the team ran with its plain blue Kalamata livery, reprising the previously seen silver stripe. The following season the team once again fielded 2 cars, running with the FA1F, G and H chassis. By this time the team had parted ways with Kalamata, with sponsors such as Mays, Joffa, Bocchino, Landis and Gaia, Edmondo and Scaini coming in to dress the team's blue, white and yellow livery design. The same colour combination would again feature on the FA1i in 1987. The team would receive a fresh influx of sponsors in 1988, with names such as Stiavani, Rosa, Arpo, Zanini, and North Pole appearing on a multifaceted livery, which made use of an interchange of yellow, white, and black vertical panels. The livery would change once again with the introduction of the FA1L, which was painted primarily in black, with touches of yellow and white now seen on the upper portion of the car. The team would compete throughout the year with Alfa Romeo engines, rebadged as Osella powered units. As a result of the ban on turbo engines, Osella would return to Cosworth power for the 1989 season, and would once again call upon Pirelli for tyres. Fondmetal owner Gabriele Rumi would greatly expand his company's involvement with Osella, becoming the team's major sponsor, as the FA1M came with a white livery that featured Fondmetal branding on the rear wing, engine case and cockpit, tied together with red and orange lines, which wrapped around the car horizontally, in keeping with Fondmetal company branding. Additional sponsorship came in the form of Italian security company, Sirena. In 1990, Enzo Osella sold his shares in the team to Gabriele Rumi, as the team competed in its final season under the name Osella, this time as a single car entrant, with the FA1ME. The car once again came with Fondmetal imagery, with red, black and orange horizontal panels forming the focal point of the livery. Following the 1990 season, Gabriele Rumi would purchase the remainder of the team, renaming it Fondmetal, and relocating to Fondmetal's headquarters in Bergamo, thus bringing an official end to Osella's 11-year tenure as a Formula One constructor. The new Rumi-owned Fondmetal team would continue to race with the FA1ME for the first 2 rounds of the 1991 season, competing in a black livery, before producing a revised chassis in time for the San Marino Grand Prix in the Fondmetal FOME1 chassis. The new car raced with a navy blue livery that featured a diagonal red and grey motif, and would be capped off with yellow end plates later on in the season. Fondmetal would continue to keep Osella's existing technical agreements, as Ford, Agip and Goodyear continued to work with the team. The team's navy blue, red and grey colour combination would receive a slight rework in 1992, as new sponsors Sagoma Tuto, Cricket & Company, LeasePlan and BMS Group joined the team to appear on both the GR01 and the all-new Sergio Brinlin designed GR02 chassis. Sadly though, Fondmetal was unable to unlock the potential of its new car, as mounting debts would force the team to conserve the small amount of resources at its disposal. Eventually, the Fondmetal racing team would close its doors following the 1992 Italian Grand Prix weekend. Moving forward, Rumi would continue to involve the Fondmetal brand in Formula One, sponsoring Tyrrell in 1994, and forming a technical and financial partnership with fellow Italian team Minardi, which lasted from 1996 until 2000. Osella meanwhile continued to compete as a manufacturer in various sports car and hill climbing championships leading into the 21st century. As a combined unit, Osella and Fondmetal have together competed in a total of 151 Grand Prix, yet, as was the case for most privateer teams, was unable to match the sport's frontrunners on the budgetary front.